Welcome to the Veterinary Rehabilitation Podcast, where we aim to help fellow veterinary rehab therapists increase their knowledge and elevate their practice. I'm Megan Kelly.
And I'm Anae Lloyd. Together, we bring you the latest insights, research, and information in the field of veterinary rehabilitation.
This podcast is brought to you by Onlinepethealth, a leading continuing education membership for veterinary rehabilitation therapists. With Onlinepethealth, you'll have access to a wide range of online resources to help you stay up to date with the latest techniques, advances, and trends in the industry.
Our podcast features in-depth conversations with leading experts in veterinary rehabilitation. They share their own experiences and knowledge to help you improve your practice. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out in the field, our goal is to provide you with the tools and the insights you need to succeed.
So join us as we explore the exciting world of veterinary rehabilitation and help you take your practice to the next level. Hey Vet Rehabbers, today's episode takes us back to the IAVRPT Conference held in Cape Town last year. Now, for those of you that are unfamiliar, the IAVRPT stands for the International Association of Veterinary Rehabilitation and Physical Therapy. It's a global organization and is dedicated to advancing the field of vet rehab through education, research, and collaboration. Every 2 years, the association hosts an international conference which unites experts and therapists from all over the world to share the latest innovations in our field. And we were thrilled to have it in our home country, South Africa, last year. If you want to find out more, you can go to the IAVRPT.org website. So I'm going to be sharing my lecture that I did at the conference, and I discussed adding additional income streams to your vet rehab practice. I delve into my journey and how diversifying my income allowed me to take a sabbatical when I had my second child. I mainly focus on income streams that don't require trading time for money, like selling digital products, hosting my online pet health membership, and creating templates and resources that can be sold online. Now, if you're looking for inspiration to create your own digital products, I've put together a resource to inspire you with ideas. It's called 88 Digital Product Ideas for Veterinary Professionals. You can download it at onlinepethealth.com/88, and that is 88 the number, not the words. You're also invited to join my Facebook community of over 2,000 vet professionals who have diversified their incomes online. It's an amazing space to share knowledge, network, and learn from others that are on the same journey as you. The group is called Veterinary Professionals Making Money Online, so please come and be a part of the conversation. I will post the link in the show notes. Before we head over to that lecture, a quick word from our sponsor. Nada first developed her courses at the Colorado State University, where she started the Medical Acupuncture for Veterinarian Certificate program, and that was in 1998. And in so doing, Nada developed a science-based platform for veterinary acupuncture, and this was the first of its kind. Today, Curacao Vet offers a comprehensive curriculum in integrative medicine with a rational, evidence-supported foundation. The courses they have include medical acupuncture, photomedicine, botanical medicine, medical massage, and integrative rehabilitation. You can discover Curacao Vet at curacao.org. All right, I hope you enjoy my lecture on diversifying your income. So as a veterinarian, I've had the privilege of witnessing the evolving landscape of our profession over the years. And the opportunities and challenges that we face today are vastly different from when I first started. And this evolution, I feel, presents a unique opportunity for us to explore new income streams to enhance our vet rehab practices. And to understand where we are now, we first need to look back at the journey veterinary professionals have taken over the past few decades. And this journey can be broken down basically into 3 eras. And each of them have their own opportunities and challenges. So the first one is the private practice dominance era. And this was from about like 1970 to 1990. And this is where veterinarians had their private practice. They were running and they were working in a clinic. And they were generating income through direct client fees. And this could be consultations, surgeries, maybe medications. And their success was heavily tied to the number of patients that they could see per day. The next era is the specialization and corporate expansion era. And this was about the 1990s to 2010s. And this is when veterinary medicine started to advance and vets began to specialize. And this is when veterinary rehabilitation came about. But there was also things like orthopedics and dermatology, oncology, And alongside this shift, we also saw more corporate veterinary chains becoming more prominent. They provide salaried roles and performance-based bonuses. And this was like quite a big alternative now for the traditional private practice ownership. Where we are right now is in the diversification and entrepreneurship era. And this allows us veterinary professionals to have a chance to step beyond the walls of our clinic. And the rise of digital technology has really opened up doors for us to have new revenue streams. Things like telemedicine, online courses, digital products. And this shift is actually making us have to think like entrepreneurs. And so we need to innovate, and we're able to actually reach broader audiences now because of digital technology that we couldn't before. We can really draw clear parallels between the evolution of the broader veterinary field and the veterinary rehabilitation sector. And just like in the traditional veterinary practice, where we saw the shift from local hands-on services to specialization and diversification through digital platforms, veterinary rehabilitation is actually undergoing a very similar transformation. And I'm going to share some examples of some vet rehab therapists that are doing just this. So initially, rehab professionals relied on in-person treatments, and that was like in the clinic setting, so like in the private practice dominance era for the vets in that 1970s, 1990s time. But as our field evolves, there is this growing opportunity now to diversify by offering services that are not in our clinic. Technology has helped us to be able to reach more people, and these parallels really highlight the importance for us for embracing innovation and expanding beyond this traditional model. And we want to be able to serve our clients better. At the same time, we want to be able to create sustainable, scalable income streams. And we really want to leverage this entrepreneurial mindset that we've seen in the broader veterinary field so we can unlock new potential in our vet rehab practices. So what I'm here to talk to you about as vet rehab therapists is how you can embrace this era. And I really hope that I can inspire you to create additional income streams that will complement your practices. Whether it's leveraging your expertise to develop digital products, and we're going to go through loads of different examples. I just want you to know that these opportunities are not only for the tech-savvy vet rehabber, okay? They're for anyone, all right? There are so many different ways in which you can get into these different income streams, and we'll explain more. But it's for anyone who wants to stay competitive, relevant, and financially secure in our ever-changing profession. I feel if we don't embrace this new area of diversification and entrepreneurship, we really risk being left behind in a rapidly evolving market. The dominance of the private practice sector and even the specialization and corporate expansion offered us really stable income opportunities. But this modern landscape now, it demands us to be adaptable, to innovate, and failing to adopt these methods not only limits our earning potential, but also leaves us vulnerable as clients are going to be seeking these more convenient tech-savvy solutions. So without diversification, your career can be limited to the number of hours that you can work in the clinic, restricting both your financial potential as well as your impact. And in contrast, if we embrace this era, you're also going to be able to scale your income, you're going to be able to reach more clients, and you're going to be able to create a more sustainable, flexible career that isn't tied to you trading your time for money. So for those who don't know me, I'm Megan Kelly, and this is my clinic, Holistic Vet, which I founded in 2006. I qualified as a vet in 2001 and was in private practice in veterinary, and 2005 did my CCRP. And like many of you, I poured everything I had into this clinic. And I was a workaholic, worked long hours. And in 2010, I had my first child. And that's when everything started to change, because I realized the challenges that I had in trying to juggle everything and to get this work-life balance. Now, I'm going to share some figures with you, and I'm going to share my journey with you. And the hope is that it inspires you and give you some ideas in ways in which you can add more additional income streams to your practices. The figures I'm sharing with you are not accurate. They're just sort of estimates, but it's basically so that I can get the principle across to you. So when I first started my clinic, my only income was through consulting. And I know that many of you can relate to this. I took a day off, no income. I went on holiday, no income, unless I got a locum. And we all know how that works in a one-man clinic. You just work crazy the week before you go away, and then the locum comes there and maybe sees a few clients, but most of the time they're sitting not doing much. And then the week that you get back, you work crazy again. And I knew I needed to find a different way that my practice could generate income when I was not there. So that would be, for example, my income if I was just consulting. And I started to realize that I was really limited by my time. And having a new baby, I had less time now. I wasn't able to work the hours that I was working, and I was having to rush home to relieve my nanny. And this was really starting to have an impact on my practice. And so I started to think, what could I do that didn't involve me and my time? And I've always had quite an entrepreneurial mindset. So I just thought, what can I do? And I thought, I'm going to sell stuff at my practice. So I opened up a shop. And I started to increase some income. And what was great about that is that I could sell it when I wasn't there. So if I was on holiday, I had my receptionist, she could sell it, and I was getting some income. I then transitioned to selling it online. And I really recognized the gap in the market where veterinary practices were fully, they weren't catering to the full needs of their patients, especially in the rehab perspective. And I started offering products like wheelchairs, leg braces, harnesses, orthopedic beds, sticky paws, toe grips, booties. I'm trying to give you guys all examples of things now that you can sell. And I think the best thing for me is that I started getting referrals, not just from local veterinarians, but from veterinarians nationwide that started to hear about my online shop. And so I was getting clients from all over, so all over the country, basically. And many of these products I was selling, so that's where the income increased again. Many of these products that I was selling were imported, and I saw an opportunity to become the South African distributor for several of them. And this not only allowed me to provide other vet rehab professionals with this product, but I also allowed them to put a markup on. So it allowed them to actually generate some additional income. And I also ventured into manufacturing. I developed my own range of products. And then I also created some products in China, actually, and I imported and I resold them in South Africa. And as a result, I effectively doubled my income. And eventually my clients started asking me for more training, and they wanted some workshops. And I started with easy topics like massage, and I eventually expanded to specialized workshops for competitive agility clients. And these workshops helped me actually build stronger relationships with my clients and empower them to be able to help their pets. In addition to the workshops, I began lecturing. And this actually had a bigger impact on my practice than I expected. It positioned me as authority in the rehabilitation field, and my referrals increased significantly, and my networking opportunities really helped me to build a really valuable relationships with my colleagues. I also became a content creator and blogger for a pet company. And I made appearances on national television, and I was paid for each appearance. And by this point, my income had basically tripled compared to when I was solely consulting. And eventually, the last thing I did was develop some digital products and some online courses for pet owners. And it just added another income stream. So what actually happened is I went from one income source to multiple income sources. And this shift was really crucial, and for a few reasons. The first one, it provided me with stability and reduced my risk. And we know that relying on a single source of revenue can be risky. And as there could be a sudden change in the markets, or something can happen, and it can really dramatically decrease your cash flow. And what you really want is like a safety net. If one of these income streams underperforms, you're okay because you have the other ones. The other thing it does is it actually offers you opportunities for growth. I was able to serve more clients through product sales and workshops and the digital products, but not just the ones that were coming into my clinic. And the digital products, I was serving people in different countries, which was amazing. And the third thing is it allowed me to have more flexibility. And this, I think, for me, when I had my kids, I really needed this. I needed the freedom to be able to step back from the more time-intensive aspects of my business, like the consulting. And basically, the multiple income sources They're going to protect you financially, but also it allowed me more room for innovation and balance in my life. Because when I was consulting, I was just consulting from morning to night, and I just really didn't have any time to think about other things that I wanted to do. Now, the COVID-19 pandemic, I think, was a wake-up call for many, many businesses, and including vet rehab practices. Those who already had diversified their incomes were actually able to weather that storm a lot easier. In-person consultations for a lot of you was really, really restricted. How many of you had additional income sources when COVID-19 happened? If you can just put your hands up. So like 5 people, yeah. So it's really, really important that we have because these kind of things are going to happen. And sometimes it's not, COVID-19 is obviously something that hopefully never, ever happens again. But I know now in the States at the moment, for example, there are hurricanes and things that are happening, storms that damage your clinic, and you need to be prepared for them. If you are able to diversify your income, it just allows you a little bit of resilience to survive in those times. So while like COVID-19, hopefully it doesn't ever happen again, I think there is a critical lesson there. We got to be prepared for disruptions in our traditional sources of income. I think for a lot of vet rehabbers, it was a very scary place, not being able to have that additional income. And I do think after that, what COVID-19 happened, a lot of you did transition. So I'd like to ask now, how many of you added additional income streams after COVID-19? A few more, maybe another 5 people or so. All right. So this is the situation when I stopped practicing. So when I had my second child, I made the very hard decision to stop consulting because I really wanted to be present with my child. But I still had a whole lot of income streams. So it allowed me to be able to do this. I was able to still support my family and contribute to the family. So I just want to say to you that if a lot of you know me, I'm like an all or nothing kind of person. So I did everything. I'm not suggesting this at all. Okay, so you don't have to do everything. But what I would suggest is you just add one income source at a time. So I wanted to give you some examples of vet rehab therapists that are doing this at the moment. Sarah, a lot of you will know, was one of our vet rehab therapists of the year finalists. She is based in Canada, and she has online platforms where she helps pet owners that have dogs with disabilities, mainly degenerative myelopathy. And she has a group called Living with Dogs with Disabilities. So Sarah basically has 8 different income streams. So he has a person who's got loads of different income streams. But I'm going to give you an example where someone has a whole lot less, like 3, the next example. So like I said, you don't have to do everything. The percentage of income that her additional income streams is 20%. That means that her clinic and her consulting is 80% of her income, and she has an extra 20% for the additional income. So these are the things that she basically does. These are her income streams. So the 80% is the in-person rehab. She does teleconsulting or telemedicine, and I'm going to explain more about that now. She sells products, so these can be online as well as in person. She does live virtual events and webinars. She has affiliate programs and products that she promotes, and I'll explain more about that too. Evergreen programs and recording of webinars and summits. That means that when you do a webinar or you do a summit, you take that recording and then you sell it after the fact. So the first one would have been live, and then you can sell that recording. She does continuing education lectures, and she also presents for other professionals' platforms. She also has a podcast called Dogs That Can, and next year she is planning to leverage podcast sponsorships and to add also in a subscription community. My next example is Jana Gams. She is based in Slovenia. She's the CEO of Dogs for Motion. And she has, her focus is basically on canine conditioning and rehabilitation for sports dogs. And she, there you'll see, has 3 income streams. And very different, the percentage of income her additional income streams make is 85%. So there are her 3 income streams: 15% for her practice, 80% online courses, and 5% for teleconsulting and online rehab plans. Now, there are loads of opportunities and different things that you can do, and you don't want to say yes to everything. I know that it can be tempting. So I thought I would just go through the things that I think are really important. You want to be strategic. As a vet rehab therapist, you already have significant demands on your time. So you really want to make sure that you can do things that either somebody else can manage or you can automate. You also want to have something that's scalable, and that means that it can grow without requiring you, actually, your time and your personal time commitment. You also might want to think about any legal implications of your new income stream, and this, I think, will really, really be different depending on the country. So things that you're going to be sharing, and I think in the States, there might even be differences per state. And then you want to look at the financial investment. Here is an example of a financial investment that I made that I got a really great return. I bought a whole set of walking wheelchairs, and I used to rent these out. So after 6 months, they had paid for themselves. And after that, I probably rented them for 4 or 5 years before I changed and stopped my practice. But they was a continual source of income for me. And then lastly, I just want to advise you to really try and concentrate on leveraging your existing expertise. Sometimes it is tempting to go into something completely different, and you can. I'm not saying you mustn't, but it is a lot easier to better serve the current clients that you have because they already know you and like you and trust you. So I'm going to just give you a few examples. There are loads of things. This is really just for some inspiration. The first 2 things are things that you still are trading your time for money, but you're just a little bit more flexible. So they're things that you don't have to do in the clinic. You can maybe do while you're traveling. So the first one is telemedicine. And I think we've got a lecture after this from Morgan about telemedicine. So this is basically online consultations with clients, and you can do different things. I think for us, one of the things is looking at the modifications for the home. Them taking you to the home is a way that you can really, really help them. You'll charge for these. And what I did with mine when I first started these is that I actually did them with clients that were having to drive really far. Those were the first ones I started. And then after that, I started advertising it and started seeing patients in areas where they weren't vet rehab therapists. I thought I can just help with this. You might want to do one-on-one coaching or mentoring. And this is more sort of in towards the other veterinary professionals that are out there, whether they be vet rehab professionals or any of the other veterinary professions. But if you've got expertise, you can do coaching. It is still obviously, using your time, but it can be quite impactful to be able to help colleagues. Lecturing and educating, I think this is an area where a lot of us are so scared and nervous to do, and I completely understand. But just approaching a conference like this and just putting your name forward. I know a lot of you did, but every time you see an opportunity, put your name forward. In the beginning, you might have to do it without getting paid, but the more and more you do it, eventually you'll be paid. At Onlinepethealth, we're always looking for lectures. So please, if you are keen to lecture, come to us and let us know. And there are loads of other webinars and companies that are looking for people to lecture and to educate the veterinary professionals. Freelance writing and content creation. I think this is something, if you really enjoy writing, you can do. Just to let you know, in the very beginning, you don't get paid for this. It's really just like magazines will say, oh, can you write an article? What you can do is you can have an advertorial in exchange for your writing. So you get a little advert in whatever their magazine is. But I think as you do get better and better, you are able to then eventually charge for your services. But I think it's really somebody who loves to do writing. The next one is selling products, and that could be in person, online, or affiliates. And I'm going to explain more about how to do affiliates. The one thing I want to say about this is that even if you have a shop or you have it online, you must remember that you need cash flow in order to buy all the products, and you have to have stock. And you want to really, really be careful that you don't have what's called dead stock. Those are things that don't move. And especially when you have different sizes of products, maybe different harnesses, the extra large one doesn't sell as well, and then that product will just sit. That's money of yours that is just sitting there. So those are things really just to consider when you're selling physical products. And then also, if you're selling anything with an expiry date, if that's also sitting and it expires, then you can't return it to the distributor that you bought it from, and that's also wasted money. So just things to consider. So obviously these options are still, like I said, trading time for money, but they are a little bit more flexible. So now I want to go into ones where you have the ability more to create something once and to sell it over and over again. And this is where you sort of decrease the sort of amount of time that you're trading for money. If you create digital products, online courses, there's so many different examples, and I could have actually had a list of about 20 things that you could do. So what I decided is to share with you the most common ones and the things that I think that would be easier for you to start with. So the first one is digital products, and examples of these are ebooks. You can create a booklet that provides educational resources for pet owners, maybe solves a problem that they've got. It could be a checklist, any little booklet that you can create. And these are probably the most easiest ones to start off with. The next one is memberships, and obviously an example is Onlinepethealth. A membership or a subscription-based business is where people pay you a monthly amount every single month, and they get access to content that's on a website. This might be in the form of videos or training, but it could also be access to you. So you could create a membership where they get access to a one-on-one time with you or Q&A sessions with you. So there are different ways in which you can set it up. The great part about a membership is it's recurring income. So because it's a subscription, every single month you get that income. Very different to online courses and digital products where you're having to continually sell it, and you sell it once, then you've got to try and find another person to buy it. Creating a YouTube channel, and I know this feels like something that's quite far out, and in searching, online and YouTube, it's amazing to me that we really have very little content about veterinary rehabilitation, and I know it's because we're all so busy, but there is really an opportunity for somebody to create a channel, and now, here is an example of Bondi Vet, and I think it's like over 1 million subscribers they've got. And the way in which YouTube works, and it's actually such a great platform, is that it has SEO, and SEO is search engine optimization. So if you go into Google and you search something, let's say you search how to increase performance in an agility dog, say an owner is searching that, you will have YouTube videos that will come up. You'll see that there's like a few YouTube videos, and then there's maybe some text things. And so it is searchable for years to come. It's very different to creating content on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok. TikTok has a little bit of search engine, but not as much as YouTube. And that means that if you create a video 5 years ago, people today, if it's a good topic and people are searching for it, can view that video. And if you monetize your YouTube channel, it basically means that you can get income from that. So this is the monetization. So let's say you have 10,000 views on a video, you'll get $10 to $50. So every single month you get views on that specific post or that specific video, you're going to get income. And what happens is, and when you first start, you have a little bit of income that you get. 5 years later, every single month, every single video that you've created, people are watching and you're generating income. So it's the long game, but it's definitely worth it. And there is such an opportunity because there is not enough content out there in our space. Nobody's creating it. The next one is as an influencer, and that would be like creating an Instagram page or creating a Facebook page. You have opportunities to work with other companies, to have paid sponsorships, and then you also have the opportunity to be able to share your products if you've got digital products and market them or sell affiliate products. So starting a podcast, this is also the long game. This is my podcast, the Veterinary Rehabilitation Podcast. And I generate income through that through paid sponsorships. So if any of you listen to it, you'll hear that I'll have a little bit of a snippet of something that I'll say about the company, and at the end I say it again. Just like Sarah is now going to be getting a sponsorship for hers. This is an opportunity for income, but it's also an opportunity to connect with your audience, and you can also promote your products there too. So if you have other digital products that you want to promote, whether online courses, you can use that also to promote it. Creating an app, I think this is for the tech-savvy vet rehab therapist, or you must just combine with somebody who has the skills to do it. I wouldn't advise just going out doing an app on your own without anyone that knows how to do this. I have myself tried to build an app before, and I did it for about 8 months, and then I just said, I'm out. It was just too much. And it's very changing. Everything's changing in apps, so it's a little bit overwhelming. But if you had a partner, or your spouse maybe knows about building apps, then it's something that you could do. Online courses, I think this is probably one of the most common places where vet rehab therapists are generating income and veterinary professionals. And these can be from a very, very simple course where it might be just 1 or 2 videos to multi-module courses. And you basically are taking the pet owner or the vet professional, whoever it is, from A to B. And you're offering them a transformation in the content that you're sharing. So there really, really is such an opportunity for you to be able to help your clients. And we're going to go in now, like sort of choosing specific niches. If you really find a niche, there are people that are looking for solutions to the problems that they got, and you can create courses. So here's an example of Yana Gams. I don't know if you guys can see there that Foundations of Agility Fitness. So she sells that course for $147. So I just contacted her before we came now, and I said, Yana, just out of interest, how many people have gone through that course? And I actually nearly fell over. She's had 5,000 people buy that course, okay? So I did the math, guys. It's $750,000 that she has generated just from that course. These are the opportunities out there. And, a lot of the online things that are out there are actually pet owners that have created websites with information because none of us are doing it. And it's not just us. There are not a lot of veterinarians that are creating information sites too. So this is the opportunity that's out there for you guys. The last one is affiliate marketing. And I really feel like this is a place where everyone, so literally everyone that's sitting here can get into this. There are already products out there that you recommend in your clinic. And here is an example of one. Is who here knows about toe grips? Anyone sell toe grips here? So I wrote a blog about this and just about how to prevent your dog from slipping on floors. And I have a link there to affiliate link. And how it works, when you go into a referral program or an affiliate program, you sign up and then they send you a specific link that is linked to you. And you put that in your blog or you put it in your email. When somebody clicks on that link and purchases, it tells their affiliate software that you were the person that sent it. And then they send you money. And so I get emails like this every single month. And it's just a blog that I literally wrote 7 years ago. And I continually every single month get income from it. So think about the products that you are already recommending now and find out whether there are referral programs. You might be selling them yourself, but most of you probably send them to another website to purchase them. If you do, there's a potential to generate income. It's really important, though, that you always disclose that it is an affiliate link that you're sharing. You should have a disclaimer on your website. You should have a disclaimer in your emails. And what I'd also recommend is never, ever promote products just to get income, right? You're only promoting products that you can put your name behind because this is your name. If you're promoting the product, it means that they trust you, all right? So it's always products that you would always recommend before. And I always just say, like, you can click on that link or you can go direct to the website. It just helps me just generate some income. And people click on the links. So you give them the option. They can go either way. All right, so these are some examples. I see my time is running up. I'm going to quickly click through. So these are some examples of what you can do. And they just really, I wanted to inspire you with some ideas. So this is the question that I always get. Where do I start? Because it is a little bit overwhelming. So I thought I would just quickly go through. The first thing you want to do is choose a niche. Here are some examples of some niches in our field. And the reason that you want to choose a niche is because if you market to everyone, you market to no one. And you really need to be known for a specific type of niche. And as I explained, Yana, she's competitive dogs, how to condition them, improve their performance. Sarah is degenerative myelopathy and dogs with disabilities. And you really want to document everything you learn. You can share your whole journey of learning with people that are following you. You're going to build an audience. And you can do this on TikTok or Instagram. You want to listen to your audience. And this is one of the big mistakes I think I made when I first started. I had an idea of what their problems were, and I created solutions to solve those problems. And I was wrong about the problems that they had. They were different problems that they had. So when you start off, just ask them, like, what are you struggling with? And listen to them. And then you're going to create products that are going to solve their problems. And you can start with something simple like an ebook. And I've created this little download for you guys. It's called 88 Digital Product Ideas for Veterinary Professionals. So you can scan that and download it. I've divided it into niches for you. So there are loads of different niches. And then you're going to keep growing your audience, guys. Just keep growing. And the more content that you put out there, you'll see what people are resonating with. So choose a niche, become an expert in that niche, build your audience, listen to them, and solve their problems. This is a group that I've started, and I welcome you guys to come and join it. It's a whole lot of us. There are 2,000 of us, veterinary professionals that are making money online. We are small. There are not a lot of veterinary professionals that are doing it, but the ones that are very successful. So if there are any questions.
Megan, I have one quick question. With the membership, if you create a membership for one-on-one time with you, I found whenever I've created a gap in my business, whether it's at the practice or otherwise, it gets filled very quickly. So becoming overloaded with a membership program, I suppose it's just making sure that you allocate your time, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is difficult in the beginning, juggling. And you do have to say, all right, I'm not going to consult on a Wednesday afternoon, and you're going to open those slots up. And in the beginning, you're going to feel, is this worth my while? Because these people aren't coming. But as it grows, you'll be able to open up more time. So it is about just making the space for those people to come in. I do feel like the one-on-one time is still, trading your time for money. And I feel that there's a much more benefit in a group session or Q&A session. People like a membership where people can come and bring their questions to you. And then you come online for 1 hour, you answer all those questions, and they've already put them through. And there's benefit because sometimes the questions, and actually very often, the questions that one pet owner is asking is the same one that somebody else is struggling with. And then that content you can record, whereas the one-on-one content, it's a little bit more personal. If you're in a group session, you can record that, and then you can use that content for other things. You can put it into the membership where they can access it.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Thank you.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please hit the subscribe button so you get notified every time I load a new podcast. I'm here every week talking to vet rehab therapists from all over the world about all things vet rehab. A big thanks to our sponsor, Curacao Vet. Their sponsorship allows us to be able to give this podcast to you for free, so please go and check them out at curacao.org. Please also don't forget to bookmark the next Vet Rehab Summit. It's on Saturday the 8th of November in 2025. Come and be a part of the world's largest online veterinary rehabilitation conference created specifically for you, the vet rehabber community. Onlinepethealth members, you get VIP complimentary access to the Vet Rehab Summit. For more information about continuing education for vet rehabbers, you can go to onlinepethealth.com.